daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello, you are listening to the Daily Liverpool podcast brought to you by the Global Sports Podcast Network. My name is Louis Easton, and this is one that I've been dreading all weekend. If it was more fresh, I'd be more heated. But to be honest, I just haven't really had any energy to do this. But I was the only person willing to do this because this is my slot. And interestingly enough, none of the other boys really wanted to join me. I mean, I can't blame them. It was, but this is the Monday review episode of the Daily Liverpool podcast, where we look back over the weekend and we kind of try to piece together what we've seen. And straight away, I just want to say everyone was dreadful, other than Alisson. And I don't think that's a controversial. I mean, okay, maybe Szoboszlai and Chiesa were good, but other than them, everyone was equally dreadful against Palace, who have been good this season. And, you know, it's even worse when Mark Guéhi was probably their best player of the entire match. You know, that man was an absolute mountain at the back, and it's no surprise why we really wanted to sign him. Just annoying we didn't sign him, because now he's put in a man of the match performance against us. And we've had our first loss of the season. In fact, our second loss of the season, if you count the Community Shield, both of which against Crystal Palace. They really do seem to be our bogey team at the moment. And they have been for quite a while now, other than COVID, when we absolutely smashed them. What was it? 7-0, 7-1, whatever it was. But the Liverpool that we saw on Saturday afternoon was nothing like that team. I mean, it's a pretty changed team from what we've seen. I mean, firstly, let's just look at how we started. We started with Connor Bradley at the back. And no Cody Gakpo. Obviously, Ekitike was out due to suspension. Arguably the funniest suspension I've ever seen. But, it was just a very depressing watch. A very slow death, you might say, from a team who have scored 9 goals in the last 5 matches before this. And we've won our last 7 matches before this as well. Okay, all right. So we conceded in the first 10 minutes. Usually we score in the first 20 minutes, and it took us 87 minutes to score on the weekend. And Ibrahima Konate, yes, he won a lot of duels, but my goodness, that man had a calamitous performance. And I hope Real Madrid were watching, because this is what we've been putting up with a few times this season. And Konate, as we know, with defenders, they need a little bit of time to adjust into the season, to get into their flow. We are 6 matches into the Premier League this season, and he still hasn't really got into his flow. I mean, he's had a few good performances for us. I mean, his performance against Burnley a couple of weeks ago was absolutely terrific, but just well off that on Saturday. Got himself booked. Van Dijk, of course, as well, got himself booked. But Konate, a couple of mistakes at the back really left Alisson exposed. And, you know, we just can't go on like this. And the fact that we haven't got any defensive depth in the centre-back position, especially with Giovanni Leone now out probably for the rest of the season, maybe, is my worry. It's really put us in a difficult position because Joe Gomez is our only cover if anything happens to Konate. And, I mean, at this point, I'd much rather play Gomez over Konate week in, week out if he wasn't so injury-prone. We've seen Gravenberg go into defence. We saw him go into defence once again. And it's not his best position. He did well. I don't even know what our formation was at the end. I was confused watching it. But it's just not sustainable. Obviously, Wataru Endo is another option because he played at centre-back under Slot for us a bit last season. And, you know, he looked really good despite his height, 5'10". He loves to throw himself into tackles. That's why he has that mouth guard. He knows that he's going to get hit. He knows he's going to get hurt. And I think he could be an option going forward. But, you just want defenders who are defenders. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say at all. Reece Williams is our other option. Me and Jesse, of course, both members of the Reece Williams fan club. But, he's... Are we really going to be relying on Reece Williams again? We haven't relied on him since, 2020? And, he didn't look very good for us. He's quite slow, and he just hasn't got the experience. He's been playing for Blackpool and Motherwell, and if a couple of our defenders get injured, are we going to want him to play in Champions League nights for us? Absolutely not. Maybe he can prove me wrong, but I don't really want to take that risk. So yeah, Konate subbed off 74 minutes in, and he's just such a worry, isn't he? I hope he can get back into his good form again, because he was terrific for us last season. But this is not the same player as last season. Connor Bradley, right back, came off at half-time. I thought he was pretty suspect in the first half. He got pretty pocketed going down that right-hand side. In fact, both our players on the right were pretty shocking. Mo Salah was probably our worst player of the entire match. I think at one point he actually stopped a goal from going in. I haven't been able to bring myself to rewatch the highlights because I cannot stand it. But I can't remember who it was who got the shot away, but it was on target, I think, and Salah stuck his leg out in the box, and the ball just went over the bar. I just think, what the hell are you doing? It's just greed, isn't it? For someone who is meant to be so clinical in the box, is incredible with his decision-making in small areas, he's had a horrific start to the season. He scored a winning penalty and one goal from open play, which, to be fair, was terrific on the opening game of the season. But this has just been inexcusable again from Salah. He's got his big contract, and we were so excited about him renewing last season, gutted when he lost out in the Ballon d'Or and didn't even make it into the top 3. But when you're putting in performances like this, I can't really defend him. Yes, they were playing fight at the back. Yes, they were very organised at the back, and they were just sitting back the entire game. It was a horrific watch. But Salah just really was not good once again. Dispossessed 3 times, offside once. He only had 1 pass into the final third. He had 6 touches in the opposition box. He didn't have 1 successful dribble all game. 3 shots, only 1 on target, missed 2 big chances. Just an overall horrendous performance from Salah, unfortunately. And listen, we all hope that he can get back into his good run, which he usually does in the first half of the season. Hopefully he can sort it out before he goes to AFCON. And maybe we'll just be playing Chiesa on the right-hand side for a bit, because he's been one of our only positives over the weekend. What else? Isak, a bit of a nothing match, really, wasn't it, for his first start in the Premier League? Is that right? First start in the Premier League? I don't know. 84 minutes played, 3 shots. He actually was pretty good when he did get the ball. He did that incredible run into the box where he was tackled last second. What can you really do as a striker when you're playing against a team that don't want to play football and just want to sit in their own box? You can't blame Isak for his for his nothing performance. I wouldn't say bad performance, because I don't think it was. But you can't blame him at all. You can't blame Florian Wirtz either, in my opinion, because you've got great creative players who are fantastic in transitional play. Isak a couple of times found himself on the left-hand side and just was quite effective, actually, in that position. But when you've got Palace, who just want to sit back for an entire match defending and play on the counter-attack, it's going to be difficult to play against them. I will give them a bit of credit for how they defended, but I don't want to give them too much because every single match this season we've played, other than maybe the Atletico game, we have played against teams who do not want to play football. They don't want to challenge the midfield. They're content to just sit back for 90 minutes and clear everything away and maybe try and hit us on the counter. And, it worked for Palace. They got the 2-1 win. And, that's exactly what they want to do. But it's just so frustrating as a Liverpool fan when you've got a team who are so expressive in their play going forward and offer so much creativity. And then for us to just be passing it around the box for the entire game. It's so annoying. Szoboszlai I thought had a great game. I think, honestly, this is going to be crazy to say. I think his best position is right back because every time he's played there, he has been terrific. He looked way better than Bradley at right back, and he did those fantastic deep crosses into the box, which gave us a couple of chances. And I just, when Frimpong came on as well, I don't think he looked particularly great. Although he did only play for 15 minutes. So yeah, I'd be happy to just see Szoboszlai as right back. I know it's harsh on Bradley and Frimpong, but every time he's played there, he has looked unbelievable. And he's been so consistent this season that I kind of just want to see him on the pitch in any capacity. And Florian Wirtz's best position is number 10, so it's best to just keep him there for the moment. What else can I say? As for Palace, yeah, they defended well. I think Tyrick Mitchell is a serious contender for the England left-back role. I don't really rate Miles Lewis-Skelly that much. And I think Mitchell is one of these just under-the-radar players. He plays more as a left wing-back, so he's used to having a bit more cover. Usually it's Mark Gay coming across to defend him, which he did terrifically. And I think he was great going forward on the left-hand side, giving issues to Bradley. And that Adam Wharton guy, I know we're linked to him. He's a terrific player. I kind of knew him more as a sort of holding midfielder, and yes, they were sitting back in their own box quite a lot. But if we are linked to him and his transitional play is that good, I mean, I would not complain if we were to get him, because his box-to-box play was absolutely terrific. I know he only played like 2/3 of the match. But even his dribbling is just really good. And he got a couple of touches in our box as well. And I mean, did he even get dribbled past that entire match? I don't think he did. And he's 21 years old. So that is a player who's going to have a lot of great matches ahead of him in his career. As for our box-to-box midfielder, Ryan Gravenberg, he was just completely outnumbered in that midfield. We saw McAllister sort of drift across and he looked very disappointed to be taken off, but he didn't have a great game. Gravenberg was a bit isolated in midfield. He'd have a little bit of help, but he'd kind of look for the right wing for Salah and then it would just kind of turn into nothing. So maybe I was a bit harsh on Gravenberg, but they made his game very, very hard. In fact, he was actually fouled 4 times. That's more than any other player in the entire match. I mean, if Endo was there, it would have been him. So, yeah, just a bit of an off day from the entire team going forward. Our passes weren't making it to their targets, and I think, we've got Galatasaray tomorrow night. And Turkey is a very, very difficult... In fact, it's renowned for being one of the hardest places to go in all of Europe. It's a hell of a long way away from Liverpool. In fact, it's probably the longest European journey in the Champions League. And Galatasaray are a very good team. I mean, if you look at the players they have... I'm just going to get their latest starting 11 up really quickly. Here we go. So... they just beat, I'm going to try and pronounce this right, Alanyaspor 1-0 away from home. They were starting Icardi up front. They've got Leroy Sané as their number 10. They've got Lucas Torreira as a sort of holding midfielder. Davinson Sanchez, remember him? He had the world of good ahead of him at one point. Still only 29, by the way. Completed 90 passes in that match. Used to play for Spurs. Didn't really work out for him there. And then they've got a very capable goalkeeper in Ergachan Chahir. I'm not going to pretend like I knew who he was just before I looked it up, but he got a 9.4 star rating because he made 8 saves and he faced 2.58 expected goals and kept a clean sheet. If that's not a sign of a good goalkeeper, I don't know what is. They don't like to play 5 at the back, unlike Palace, so that's good from that perspective. And they've actually got a Hungarian in their team, Roland Salah. So we'll know who will be swapping shirts after that game. But they've got Mario Lemina, they've got Victor Osimhen, obviously, and Ilkay Gundogan. Those 3 players I just named were all rested. So that's a sign of the fact that they are going to be bringing the big guns against us. They've scored 13 goals in their last 5 matches as well. I'm sure we'll do more of a Champions League preview. What I'm saying is we can't just rely on passing it around for an entire match, trying to look good in the first half, and then conceding again. Because we have conceded way too much this season. Yes, our attack is fantastic, but this whole thing where we have to try and outscore the opposition, it's not sustainable. It's not going to work over an entire season. We need to sort out our midfield tracking back and defending counterattacks. For the love of God, it's inexcusable now. It's happened too many times, and I can't have a heart attack every time I watch a Liverpool match. Yes, they got a late winner against us. I understand it. 97th minute. Eddie Nketiah, for God's sakes. How are we conceding to Eddie Nketiah, of all players? So, yeah, we just need to sort out our defending of the counterattacks, especially against a team with as much pace going forward as Galatasaray. And then we've got Chelsea next weekend, and that's going to be a real test. Because Chelsea were just beaten on the weekend as well against Brighton. So they'll be trying to bounce back from that as well. Anyway, let's hope for less counterattacks. Let's hope for at least one comfortable win in these next few fixtures that we have. We're still top of the league. Unfortunately, Arsenal did get a last-minute winner against Newcastle, so that's not ideal. But we'll leave it there. You've been listening to the Daily Liverpool podcast on the Global Sports Podcast Network. Stay tuned as we bring you some build-up for the Champions League football tomorrow. Take care, and see you for the next one.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out as the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone, AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the description to learn more about Zencastr.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.